My mom is the most evil mother in the entire world. It's safe to call her a psychopath. She hated me so very much. She constantly gave me hate. You can't even believe that she didn't make a single respectful conversation with me. Every time I talked, she disrespected me. She hated me that much, and that is not enough. She had some weird codependency on me. Every time I ran away from home to the dorm or friend's house or wherever, she used to convince my dad, whom she divorced. My dad knew her true colors, but still, she used to convince him to. She used to be very manipulative and convince him to. Even he used to ignore my tears and believe her. She used to convince him that much. She would convince my relatives, my cousins. Sometimes she used to even come to the dorm. If nothing worked, she used to herself come to the dorm and beg me. She used to change her colors completely. She used to be so nice with me. She used to offer gifts, candies, and all these things. She used to behave completely differently, and she used to even convince me to go back to her. And once I go back to her, she would show her true colors. She tortured me this way for 22 years. She wouldn't let me be happy at home. She wouldn't let me be happy outside home. She hated me and had such weird codependency on me. You can't even believe that she didn't even let me have any friends. She used to be so jealous of me finding happiness in the first place, through myself or through friends. It took me 10 years after I got away from my mom to heal from my trauma. One significant step that helped me in healing from my trauma was meeting somebody who's exactly like my mom. Her name is Diana. I'll not give the details about how she is related to me, but she thinks very similarly to mom. So when I was living with her, I used to occasionally initiate a conversation with her. I used to ask her questions about her life. Hey, how is it going? And all of these questions. She used to answer them, but she never asked a single question about me. I suspected that she was self centered, but I didn't say anything about it. One day, I attended a late night phone call. I was not aware that she could hear me. I locked myself downstairs. She came downstairs from upstairs and screamed at me and passed harsh judgments at me. I didn't say anything to her. But the next day, when everything was calmed down, I told her, Diana, when you say something to somebody, tell in a way that doesn't offend them. Normal people, when they say that they are offended, when somebody else tells that they are offended, they'll feel bad and apologize. But she got defensive and then she called me selfish. That's when I understood that she has no empathy. It confirmed my suspicions that she is selfish, self-centered, and had no empathy. Then I asked her back the same question. Once she called me selfish, I asked her back the same question. What are you then? Every time we talk, the conversation is always about you. Then she responded by saying, that's because you ask questions about me. She had an answer right away. Then I asked, why do you never ask a single question about me? She was shocked. She was answerless because nobody asked her that question. I wouldn't have asked her that question too, but it was a quality that I once had, which is why I noticed that in her and I asked her that question. Because she was answerless and she always has to win every argument, she manipulatively changed the topic and switched it to something else. Because she always has to be the last person to talk and she has to never lose. So she switched back to the time when I told her something about her brother. Her brother is very unapproachable, I think has a lot of social anxiety, and he basically lives in his room. Whenever he comes out of the room, he doesn't even talk to me, doesn't acknowledge my presence at all. So once when he was walking to his room, I asked him why he doesn't talk to me. He told, I don't need to. I felt that was rude. I was offended. So when she was nearby, I told her this is what he said, and I feel I'm beneath him. By beneath, I meant not his level. Like, say, when you consider somebody superior to you, like a college professor, when they are in your presence, you'll talk to them, right? And when you consider somebody equal to you, like a friend, when they are in your presence, you'll talk to them. It's only when you consider somebody beneath you, not friend, not college professor, but somebody who's beneath you, then you won't talk to them. That's what I meant. But she dug deeper meanings into it and concluded that I accused him of being a racist. I wasn't accusing him of being a racist, but because she likes to believe bad things about me like my mom does, she was pointing that and said, "You were accusing my brother as a racist." She didn't even talk about my feelings. She didn't address, like if I was her, I would have said, "I know that you are offended by what my brother told you." I would have started the conversation like that. But because she's selfish, she didn't care about my feelings. Because she lacks empathy, she couldn't feel bad for me. So she was attacking me by saying that I was accusing her brother as a racist. Then I said, "You are shaming me." Now she doesn't like that. She always has to be the good person. Then she switched back. This is so funny how she switches back to topics. Then she switched back to the late night phone call and said, "How was that shaming?" She passed harsh judgments on me that day and yelled at me. But still, she asked me how that was shaming. Then I told her, had it been me, I would have said, "Hey, I can hear you. Can you please keep it low?" She was surprised by the answer because she's not used to kindness. That's a kind way to say somebody, politely say somebody to keep it low, right? They don't have to shame that person. Now, she was surprised by the answer, but again, she has to be the last person to talk. So she got defensive and said, "Had it not been 2 a.m., I wouldn't have yelled at you." Then I said, "In this world, there are no rules." Then again, she got defensive and said, "This is my dad's house. There are rules." Then I said, "Human beings should forgive each other of humanly possible mistakes. Shaming others is wrong, Diana." I just told in such a calming voice, I just told shaming is wrong. Then she was answerless again, but again she switched back to something else. This time, seeing how she was struggling to be the last person to talk, how she was trying to win the arguments, I didn't say anything. I let her win. But overall, this entire episode with her rapidly helped me heal from my trauma. First of all, I understood how to talk to people who are exactly like my mom. We should just talk sense to them in normal, calming voice. Then they will, maybe later, she understood that whatever she did to me was wrong. From that day, she never messed with me. So I understood how to deal with people who are exactly like my mom, who are psychos, have no empathy. Number two, it also helped me understand that my mom hated me. For example, when my stepfather called me ugly, she didn't say anything. A normal mother would slap her husband if he called her daughter ugly. But my mom, she hated me, so it was giving her joy when he called me ugly, so she didn't say anything. But when I fought back, like screamed at him, she couldn't sleep the entire night. She was awake. She was angry with me. She kept screaming at me. When I woke up in the morning, she slapped me. She called me poisonous insect. She said, "How dare you hurt a pristine man like that?" She kept passing judgments on me. That time, this incident traumatized me, but I did not understand that my mom hated me. But seeing Diana and how she was behaving with her brother and how she couldn't understand my feelings at all, I understood that my mom hated me and that's why she did what she did. Because my mom also couldn't understand my feelings. She was not taking my side at all. And because my mom loved him so very much, she took so much offense to it and she was giving me so much hate to me. Same way, Diana also loved her brother more, so she was giving hate to me. But for Diana, I can understand. She is not a blood relative to me. But my mom hated her own daughter, so she's the worst mother in the world. And with that incident, I found a closure to so many incidents that she has done, because now I understood that she did those things out of hate for me. All these days, those incidents bothered me so much because I thought she did those things out of love for me. Like when you grow up with an evil person, you won't know that the person is evil person and you would think that they love you. You'd think that all mothers are exactly like her. But this one incident with Diana enlightened me about several incidents my mom did to me, and I understood that all of those things that mom did to me were very wrong. So I feel so glad to have met somebody who's exactly like my mom. It rapidly helped me heal and also helped me understand how to deal with such people in my life. Thank you for watching the video.